Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Happy Monday, and this is a new episode of the Right Info Podcast Show with your host, King Twan, speaking on this cool January Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. birthday holiday weekend, which is about to pass us. Tonight's topic I'd like to discuss is the problem of nature versus nurture. Now, the question of nature versus nurture has existed for many centuries, and scientists still cannot provide a definite answer with, or, whatever answer they're trying to find for it. Personally, I believe both factors to be equally important and significantly contribute to the process of a person's development. Numerous studies show that some individuals' characteristics are to be a considerable extent predetermined by genetics, for instance. IQ is influenced by the environment by 25%. Now, another example, can be diseases which run in families and can't be prevented by a person, even if they invest all their efforts into an attempt to entertain them or counter them. I apologize again. People are inherently social beings who possess the ability to adapt to various environments and adjust their behavior depending on their particular societies. Now, I believe that Erikson's psychological theory is a perspective which provides one of the best explanations of how a person undergoes different periods in their lives, which shapes their personality. The 8 stages outlined by Erikson are very helpful when analyzing cases of human development, and they're providing an insight into different aspects of the process. My evidence in the support of this approach is mostly anecdotal and can be drawn from various experiences and situations observed. One researcher used the theory to study violence among children living in poor conditions or in areas that are not well funded or not taken care of, and that their situation prevents them from going through developmental stages, which negatively impacts their lives. Therefore, despite the fact that nature plays a major role in human development, and the importance of nurture should not be underestimated. Now, what that means is nature and nurture are two different things. Nature is where we live, where we are around. Nurture is how we're being taken care of, how we're raised, how are we viewing things, how we look at things, how we do things in the area of nature, where we are, our surroundings. And, it's just very interesting. We had this study many years ago. It was discussed, nature versus nurture, and it's still being studied today here in the 21st century, in this year of 2023. Things are still going on at all. We still trying to nurture our future and our current situation of where we are as far as nature. Now, this is a very interesting podcast topic that I'm discussing tonight because it's rarely discussed. I mean, I guess it is discussed, but not a whole lot. So I'll be the first to discuss this. And with that, getting that full understanding of being raised in any area where you are, how you are. They say an environment can raise a person, but can a person raise an environment? I believe it goes both ways in a sense. Like, take, for example, if you take a child, a boy or a girl or whatever, put them in an area that's not well funded, that's not well kept, that's very much impoverished, will they adapt to their environment? Will their environment grow into them? No. In a sense, it can be. It depends, like I said, it depends on where you live. And if you're raised right in that impoverished area, you could probably withstand that. A child could withstand that, They can probably get through whatever's going on, make sure it doesn't get to them. And so when they grow up, they can move out of there. Like they say, you can take the neighborhood out of a person. You can't take the person out of the neighborhood. Or like, when it comes to a way of living, you have those who got it, those who don't have, the have and the have-nots. It comes to nature and nurture. If you live in a wealthy neighborhood, your attitude and mindset will be with that neighborhood because of how it's being taken care of, on how it's being funded, or how the people who stay in there carry themselves around And if they go through all that, you'll follow that as well. If not, it'll be the opposite. So, it's best very much that if you're going to grow or be grown in a certain area, you might wind up adapting to that area. You're being nurtured in an area where the nature, whether it's good or not so good, is. You're either going to adapt to it or you're not going to adapt to it. It's simple as that. So, with that being said, this is just a podcast issue that had to be discussed because we're still going through this nowadays, nature and nurture, even with children, young adults, or even adults, plain and simple. And, there's nothing wrong with change. Change should be good. And there are those who don't want change. But, as time go by, whether you're being raised in an area that's either wealthy or not so wealthy, you either adapt to it or you don't. Depends on the person's mindset, on how they're being raised or being taken care of in that area. We see what happens, if things go well, hey, much power to you. If not, then, a person would know what to do if she or he doesn't like where they are. And with that being said, this is the end of this podcast topic and this show. And I'm glad that everybody's having a good Dr. King holiday. It ends around midnight. Tomorrow is another day. So with that being said, I hope everybody have a great night and have a good evening. Good night. Love you all. Bye-bye.